Hello, guys of United Rock Nations. We are an amazing company with Aidan of a great band Elvenking. How are you?
Everything's fine. We have returned home from the Pagan Fest tour, which was a long tour. Was 5 weeks tour around Europe. We are already home since 1 month, so we are returning to life. So everything's good.
Back to reality.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
So we are here, of course, about to talk about the new chapter because it's a chapter. It's a third and final chapter of Wizards of
Yes.
the Runes. This one is called Luna. So it's the conclusion of the trilogy. The trilogy. So how did the creative process evolve over the three albums, and what are the challenges for this new album, Luna?
Well, first of all, it was a very long journey. We embarked in, we wanted to make this concept album since a lot of years, but we were basically searching for the right story to tell.
Absolutely.
The fact is that once we had the story in our mind, it was immediately clear that it was not possible to make it into one single album. So we decided to split the story into three chapters, like the three, chapter of a movie or of a book trilogy. And basically, the idea that was, to do a simple concept album suddenly become a very long project that we were probably not even as expecting to be so, so huge and demanding in terms of production, songwriting, and stuff like that. So I would say that we are kind of, finally at the end of this long, long journey that started back in 2018, basically. So it's a lot of years that we are working on the same story. And with this final album, we finally arrived to the end of the story. And we are very satisfied about this final album. I think that it's the right finale for this big trilogy, and we are looking forward to see what people will think about it.
Absolutely. It's a very good ending of the trilogy. I think that those Luna talks more about divination and rapture. Tell us more about the central message and the main topics of these final parts of the trilogy.
Yeah, well, basically, the three albums are the three part of the story. So if Divination was the introduction to the story, to the characters, and to the main, the protagonist of our universe, the Reader of the Runes. At the same time, Rapture was probably the most dark, heavier, and obscure part of the story where all the action, the more violent and bloody part of the story happens. And now we are at the final chapter, which is I would say more melancholic, tragic in a way, but also more lighthearted because we are kind of looking back to the past. I don't want to spoil a lot about the story because people haven't read it or already. But let's say that we are disclosure all the mysteries that surrounds the Reader of the Runes, the character itself, and all the eight characters that we have found through the previous two albums. And I would say that obviously the finale needs to be epic, as much epic as possible, but at the same time is very, I would say, melancholic and tragic. And that is also why also the music follows. There is a lot of more probably folk influences in this chapter, because we always try to with the folk melodies try to create the more dreamy atmospheres and stuff, the more dreamy and dreaming atmosphere. and also there is a lot of maybe kind of melancholic feelings because of the story that we are telling.
And why you decided to call the final part as Luna? Why Luna?
Well, Luna is the name of one of the character that we have already met previously, which is Ethel, which was is called also Luna by his brother mainly. So let's say that it is about this central figure that will be very important in the story, and we will find out why in this final chapter. So it's mainly dedicated to her. Also, Luna is the Italian word for moon,
Yes,
so
absolutely.
it is something that is a symbol of, you know, a magical symbol, and also it is very dreaming symbol. Is represent the night and the, you know, the serene night. So we find out we found that it was very good to, you know, to describe this final chapter of the album.
So, do you plan to write a book about the story?
Well, a lot of people ask us about if we wanted to write a book or maybe, you know, doing a TV series or something like that. That would be obviously not possible at all for obvious reason. But you know, it would be great maybe to write a book. I was thinking about would be also interesting to maybe doing a kind of a graphic novel with comics and stuff. That would be very interesting. Maybe we could think about this. You know, there are people now that are creating some Dungeons and Dragons adventures out of this story. So there are, yeah, it could be really interesting to make it out of the whole story something, uh, and it could be made by different, you know, different type of art. So for example, this D&D adventure is something interesting. I would go with a graphic novel because it's easier, and maybe also, you know, it's something that is doable. Obviously, a TV series would be amazing, for example, but it is obviously not the case. And also writing a book would be great. So there are chances for the future. Let's see. For sure, we will do something. Yeah.
Fantastic. So let's talk about some songs of the album. I
Yes.
selected the three songs that I want to talk about.
Yes, sure.
Um, the first one is a song. The song I like it the most is Starbat. There's
Yes.
a very epic atmosphere on it. Tell us more about that song, Starbat.
Yeah, I would say that it's one of the most folky song of the album.
Exactly, exactly.
It has a slow-paced rhythm, which is cool compared to the rest of the album, which is a lot of double bass driven. It's very fast.
Absolutely,
So
absolutely, absolutely.
Starbuck kind of you know, cuts the atmosphere to a little bit more slow pace, and I think it's a very magical song because of all the folk atmosphere. There are some real folk instruments in it. There is a lot of folk inside the song. It is a song that, as the title can suggest, is another dreaming topic. Um, this is we are talking about. I don't want to spoil that much about the lyrics because
Okay, no
otherwise
problem.
we are telling too much about how the story ends. And I know that there are people that maybe there are not that much in a, you know, in a time where Spotify is, you know, uh, can drive the attention for a few minutes and stuff like that. So I don't know how many listeners will dive deep into the lyrics, especially with a so long and difficult concept. But I don't want to spoil too much about the story, but still, as you can see from the title, is a dreaming song. We are talking about this bath of stars that surround some of the characters of the album. So we wanted to create a song that was in this atmosphere, was really into the night atmosphere, into the open sky, And I would say that is also one of my favorite songs of the album.
Oh,
For
great,
sure.
fantastic.
Yeah.
The other song I love a lot, I love a lot is "The Weeping" because it's acoustic.
Yeah.
It's an acoustic song, very lowly, with a mood, special mood. Tell us more about
Also,
that song also.
yeah, also in this case, we're talking about, another side of the album where most of the album is very fast, aggressive, and maybe dreaming with more light-hearted atmosphere. The Weeping is the real tragic episode of the album, and I can tell that it describes the death of Luna Ethel, so that is also why it is the atmosphere are so tragic. There are a lot of acoustic stuff in it, but the atmosphere is not dreaming, is more, I would say, more tragic. It is a very sad song, and it has a kind of a doom feeling, which we love. Uh, we love all kind of atmospheric doom metal, and very melancholic atmosphere. So we wanted to create a song in that direction. And I think with the acoustic guitars, with the violin, with the keyboards that are there is a lot of these arrangements in the song. We create something that really can underline the tragedy of the lyrics of the situation in the story.
Usually, you wrote the lyrics before the music, or is the music that inspired the lyrics?
Usually, we always write the music first, but in this special occasion for this long trilogy, we knew the story, we
Absolutely.
knew the character, we knew the chapters that we wanted to create. So once we had, the first riff, or in the case of the Weeping, the first acoustic arpeggio, we knew that it should be have been something that has to be related with some specific part of the story. So once we focus on that, we kept on songwriting with that idea in mind. So this is probably the only situation where we write the music with already the lyrics in mind. Usually we write the music, and then we create the lyrics on it, knowing the atmosphere. But this time it was a little bit like the atmospheres were already there, because we knew that there are part of the story that are tragic, part of the story that are more epic. And so when we started to write in a song, we knew that that specific riff melodies was perfect for that part of the story. So the lyrics were already coming in
Yeah,
together,
absolutely,
basically.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
The last song I want to talk about is probably one of my favorite because for me it's like a hit. It's the ghosting.
Yeah.
It's a really good song for live. I'm sure that if you will play that song live, it will be fantastic. So tell us more about
Yes.
that song. It's a hit for me.
Yes, that is why I wanted to have it as one of the main singles of the album. Not everyone was agreeing on that. To
Oh,
me,
oh,
it should have been one of the main single. It will be the fourth single of the album, but once the album will is already out, to me it should have been released before. That was I suggested, but especially our management record label had different ideas. But to me, the Ghosting should have been one of the main song, because
absolutely.
it is more accessible for also for people who are
Exactly.
not exactly in this type of music. It is different from the rest of the album. Obviously, it doesn't represent 100% the album, because it's pretty distant from the rest. But that is why I wanted to have it as a single, because it could, attract also people that don't like specifically folk metal or pagan metal, but it is a more, let's say, I don't want to say commercial, because I don't believe that metal is really commercial. I mean, commercial means that you make a lot of money. It's not our case in any way. So let's say accessible, maybe it's the right words. But I still think it's a song that as you said, can be kind of a hit song, but or whatever we can call it. And in this case, we wanted to create something with another sad gothic atmosphere. Let's say it's a little bit more gothic, something like that. It is about the ghosting, which are, maybe not everyone. If you talk about ghosting nowadays, everyone thinks about people don't answer you on
Ah,
the
yes,
phone.
yes, yes.
But ghosting is also a kind of a ghost or a vision that you have during an appearance, a figure that you don't understand exactly what it is. And it's a song about, regrets and having some ghost of the past that haunts you, especially when you know that you have done something wrong, maybe, and you can see your actions, your bad actions, or something that you have done that you really regret to have done. So that is the topic of the song, and I think that the music follows this topic with the atmosphere.
Absolutely. So let's talk about the cover, the artwork cover of
Yep.
the album. Can you explain the symbolism within the artwork? Um,
Yes, the artwork
Sorry.
is once again done by Sofia Dankova, which is a great artist. She drew all the three covers of the trilogy, and once again she did a marvelous job on the work. You can see the ghosting figure in the middle, which is Luna, exactly, or Ethel, and you can understand that she has died, and this is her ghost basically. And then we see the skeletons of the eight main characters, which are represent the eight character of the story, but each of them also represents uh, something specifically. So we have the charming girl who did about her beauty all her life, and then she lost all. We have the I don't know, the monastery abbot, which made of faith his life, but then he lost everything. We There is the cavalier who fought his life, for his rights, and also in this case he lost his life. So every single skeleton and character represent a part of our life that we kind of believed in, or made part of our goal in life, and then in the end we lost everything. What Everything we do, in the end we need to come to an end in any case, as every one of us will do.
So let's talk about concerts.
Yes.
With the completion of trilogy, how
Yes.
do you plan to bring the Readers of the Runes saga to life on stage?
That is something that we have discussed. There are people who are asking us if we are gonna play all the three albums together.
Oh,
I think
it's
it would
impossible.
be,
It's
yeah,
impossible.
absolutely impossible. It would be really, really challenging also for us, but also for the listeners, because we are talking about, 1 hour and 50 minutes of work. So I don't think that we will ever do something like that. But maybe we were thinking about, for some specific concert, we can do a best of the three albums, and maybe playing the best songs out of the three albums, and maybe dedicate a full concert to the three albums. Maybe not with 30 songs, but maybe with 15 or 12, something like that. It would be great. We have also two very long songs in the three albums that are more than 10 minutes each. We are thinking also about that. If we need to play them live together, it will be. We are thinking about. For the moment, we are just focusing on the singles, because one of the more important thing is for us was okay to do a concept album that is long, three albums, but still that every single song could have a life on its own, and that can can easily be played live without, living on his own, without the necessity to have, all the concept explained and everything like that. So we are playing the single songs without problems. But we are thinking about doing something, maybe for some specific concert, maybe create, also a scenography around it, and create something based on the trilogy seriously.
So we have to wait.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
What are your plans to tour after the release of the album?
Yes, as I told you, we have basically done, strangely, a very long tour in January and February, which was the Pagan Fest with Hailstorm, Insiferum, Tyr, Idefog, which was, a very long tour, and we did it before the release of the album. Even though we played the two singles of the new album that were already released, so Throes of Atonement and Luna. So we did already passed every single, basically, every single country in Europe. So let's say that, I think that for this year we are pretty okay for Europe. We have a lot of festival coming up in the summer, so we will do summer festival as usual. We will very probably return to Japan this fall, which is a land that we always love. So we are missing Japan since before the COVID. We had, some tour plan during the COVID that was obviously canceled. So we are looking forward to return there, and probably 2026 we will return on stage in the US, probably because we have tour US in 2023. So I think we will return, first in the US and then go back to Europe.
Awesome. Thank you very much for
Thanks to
the
you.
information about the Readers of the Runes, the end of the trilogy Luna, and we hope you the best for this new album. I hope you the best for all the concerts.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mercy.
Thank you, and bye.
Bye bye. Thank you very much. Thank you.